we are doing a live reaction to some Reddit posts where we are covering various topics all about sex and sexual relationships and giving our 2 cents. Welcome if you're joining us. My name is Holly.
I'm Victoria.
We're 2 licensed therapists specializing in sex therapy, here to share our knowledge, experience, answer your questions about all things related to a healthy and pleasurable sex life. We recently shared a couple of videos about exhibitionism, the kink, and also exhibitionistic disorder. And so I did find a post here on Reddit that addresses exhibitionism. I thought that would be a nice contribution. So the title of this is Leaving My Exhibitionism Kink Behind for Motherhood. I, a female 35 years old, have been married to my high school sweetheart, a male 36 years old, have a fantastic life, a perfect family and career, and God has blessed me with 3 beautiful and healthy children. Our marriage and sex life has been always great. There's this one kink that we both have shared ever since our high school years, and that is exhibitionism. We have had a lot of talk, of course, and we are 100% sure that we are both okay with it. Basically, the dynamic is like I would show myself off, and that gets both me and my husband off. It usually never goes past being watched and touched. Only a few times, and my husband has been present and supportive. This kind of stuff happens in a lot of places, but me and my husband both love nude beaches, and there's one exactly 45 minutes away from our house. Now, long story short, there's this one very old gentleman that I have seen a few times in a park in our neighborhood, where I sometimes take my children and our dog to. I have seen this gentleman with someone who I assume is his grandchild there a few times, and we have talked and had short little conversations here and there. He knows my last name and I know his. And the last time we went to the nude beach, I saw him there and I absolutely froze. He walked up to us, called me by my last name, and had a little conversation with me and my husband. And I was just shocked, and all I did was smile. Some soft stuff happened, and he disappeared, and I didn't say much to my husband. But ever since we came home, I have been thinking a lot. Up until this point, there has only been me and my husband, and since we're both involved in this, we are aware of what to do and what not to do. But now with my children growing up, I feel like there's no longer only me and my husband. There are 3 other people who are not involved in this and can get hurt. What if that man tells them, obviously it would not happen, but there are a lot of maniacs out there. Or what if, I don't know, their teacher shows up someday? What if their friends' parents see us? You know, all of this has been in my mind. And although exhibitionism is such a relaxing and beautiful thing to me, and it's the only thing that gives me confidence and satisfies my soul, I feel like I should stop it forever. My therapist tells me that as long as a couple keep their kinks in the bedroom, it's okay. And this kink does not belong in the bedroom, unfortunately, so I don't think it can be okay for me anymore. And I guess I gotta leave it all behind.
Wow.
And that's a long one.
Oh, I feel so sad for her that she's feeling like these 2 roles that she has, right? Like mother and like sexual being can't go together. They can't be in the same body. Yeah, exactly. It's so sad that she feels like she has to lose this part of herself and grieve that in order to like protect her children. Right? That's really, really hard. My reaction to that is I don't think it has to be black or white like that at all. I completely hear that concern of her children finding out, she wanting it to be private. Okay, I totally respect that. If you don't want to go to the local nude beach because you're scared you're going to run into somebody that you know and somehow it's going to get back to your kids, okay. But I think there are other ways that we can express this kink, right? Like we talked about it in our live stream, right? You could go to maybe a nude beach outside of the community where there's less of a chance of running into someone. You could go to like a I'm blanking on the word, but like a dungeon or a munch, right? Like part of the kink community,
like a sex club or
where you
swingers
meet other
event
people. Yeah, exactly. And you could engage in a sex party where you are, you know, engaging with your exhibitionism kink, but maybe with people who also respect like the privacy of it and wouldn't be going and bringing it back to your children, right? I think there are safe ways to
Yeah.
do that where you can still have both roles.
I agree with you 100%. You took a lot of the words right out of my mouth. Those were a lot of my thoughts. You know, how
Yeah.
sad to feel like you have to lose this part of your sex life or this part of your sexuality as a
Yeah.
sacrifice to protect your kids. And let's be real. I mean, people judge. Like that's the world we live in. People judge if they, you know, if people in their community do witness them engaging in exhibitionism and they have connections to their children and rumors are spreading or other kids start treating them differently, like whether we like it or not, I do think that's a reality of the world, at least where we live,
Yeah.
that's a possibility. So I think it's a valid concern that she's starting to feel like, oh, these worlds are like starting to collide and this doesn't feel okay for me and doesn't feel okay for my kids, and I'm concerned about what could happen. With that being said, I mean, I have questions about like what it is exactly they're doing at these nude beaches, because she kind of
Mm.
says I like to show myself off.
Mm.
Um, there's mostly watching and some touching. I don't know what that means. Is that by her
Some
husband?
soft play she mentioned, I
She
think.
also mentions that this older gentleman, neighborhood gentleman, who she runs into at the nude beach, she's frozen, she's shocked, and
Yeah.
yet some soft stuff happened. I have
Mm.
no idea what that means.
Yeah.
Um, was there some sort of sexual interaction with this guy? But I want to first and foremost say my understanding is that displaying or engaging in sexual activity at a public nude beach is likely illegal. I don't think that's what nude beaches are intended for. I'm
Mm.
not an expert on that, but I think that could be risky behavior, whether you have children or not. That could be risky behavior potentially. And so, um, taking this type of kink and bringing that into a safe environment, like what you
Mm.
just described, Victoria, and
Yeah.
having a community of people that also engage in this behavior or kinky people who are going to be accepting and non-judgmental. They would not target your children for any reason, and you
Yeah.
can build some trust with them. I think that you can keep this like alive in your relationship and do it safely and do it in a way that feels like it's considerate of your sexual desire and your family.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah.
And I think the therapist comment, no judge, it's out of context, but um that kinks have to stay in the bedroom, that seems very black or white to me. So, not loving the comment, but again, out of context, so no judgment to the therapist. I don't agree personally.
Yeah.
So,
You're right. And being sex positive here and kind of open-minded, like
yeah.
your sex life can kind of venture into other places, like, as long as everyone's consenting, everyone's an adult,
Exactly.
and we're doing it legally within the bounds. I feel like I sound such a bore right now, but I feel like I have to reiterate some of that, especially if we're talking about exhibitionism, which could potentially be risky behavior.
The safety police over here. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I am here to keep you all safe.
I love it.
I'd love to hear from anyone who is within the kink community how they navigate this type of concern, because
Mm.
these are real human beings with real lives and likely have families, and some have children. And so I would love to hear if those worlds have collided, how you navigate that, what boundaries do you have in place if you have children and you participate in a kinky behavior. And I'd love to get a conversation going, whether it be in the chat here or in the comments.